Hi, from Salvo's here. So, as promised, I'm going to do a meat ragu today. First thing we've got to do is get our vegetables together. So, onions, carrots, celery, bay leaves. I like a little bit of rosemary. This is not something that has a lot of heavy herbs in, so don't put any oregano or anything like that. I'm just going to chop a bit more garlic up. So I do it the lazy man's way. I chop it before I peel it. I take that off and then do that. So, a few cloves of garlic. Carrots. When you're chopping carrots to dice, it's nice to get yourself a nice flat edge like that. Take that off and then just very simply do that. And off we go. And you can just grab a couple at a time. Get yourself a decent sharp knife. It'll cut your working time by half. They're not expensive. I think I got this one from TK Maxx. If you've got a steel, keep an edge on it. And as long as you don't let your son to it, it'll do you right. So, here we are. So, as far as meat, we like pork. And at the restaurant, our ragu, which is so fantastic, I can't tell you. They use diced veal. I've got beef here, but that will do as well. So a mix of pork and beef. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get our stuff. I'm going to put the garlic there too, and we are going to start by frying this lot off. Bit of oil. This lovely stuff goes in there. So this is basically a meat sauce for pasta, and quite often the bolognese, traditional bolognese, is just really made with tomato puree. I like mine a little bit lighter, done more southern style, so I'm going to use some tomato puree and some passata. So if you don't have any passata on you, just use the puree and a little bit of water, works well as well. So we're going to fry this until it's nicely softened. Right, this has been sweating away for 5 minutes and it's nice and soft. So now, as you can see, nice and soft, we're going to put the meat in. So, the meat all goes in, that's pork and mince. Now we're going to gently start the cooking process here. Seasoning. Salt, pepper. So one thing you want to be doing here is some people say brown the meats. One thing you've got to be careful of when making sauces which are a vehicle for the pasta is not to cook the daylights out of the mince and end up with little nuggets of dry meat. So I've only softly done it, I haven't browned the living daylights out of them, and now I'm going to put some red wine in there. Yeah, a nice cup of red wine. The other thing I'm going to put in is the puree. So what's happening now, in fact, is it's not frying anymore, but it's what we call stewing, half liquid, half oil. So there we go, I'm bunging all this in. There we go, it's taking a nice red colour on. Now, as you've noticed, I used minced pork, but the beef, I got kind of stewing steak and chopped it down a little bit, so we've got some bigger pieces of meat in. So what you're having is not a ragu, which is just a pile of mincemeat, but you're having something that's got a little bit more light and shade. When you're eating your pasta, you get a little lump of meat in. God, oh what joy to get a bigger lump of meat. So right, now we're there. I'm now going to put the passata in. At this point, you could just put a cup of water in, turn it right down, and it becomes the very meaty sauce that you find in Bologna. Ours down south, it's a much looser one, more fragrant. A little bit of water. Oops, making a mess as usual. There we go, let's have a look, see how this is looking. Now that is going to come to the boil, and again we're going to turn it down immediately onto a very low setting and simmer for a couple of hours. Don't forget, heat is the enemy here. We don't want to be boiling the backside off this. Once you've squeezed all the juice out of that meat, once you've boiled it too much and the juice it's gone into the sauce, it'll never be soft and juicy again. So go low, go slow, take it easy, my brother Charlie, and it'll come out beautifully. Now we will most probably be putting a bit more water in here before the day is over. But meanwhile, let's put it onto super low. Put a lid on it, bang, and it's going to put away for a couple of hours. Right, let's have a look now. This has been going for 2.5 hours, and as you can see, it's there now. So we're going to put the pasta in the water. We're ready now. So first of all, salt in the water, and I'm going to put this pasta in. These are Cavatelli pasta, one of my favourites. Holds the meat sauce beautifully in them little cavities there. But any pasta will do, really. Let's not get precious about that. Right, back to this. It's time to taste it. Oh, that tastes fantastic. Just a little bit of the lumpy bit of meat, the beef. Okay, I thought that would do in 2 hours, but it didn't. I had to cook it a little bit longer. The beef, a little bit lean, it took a little while longer to cook. And I'm adjusting the seasoning, so it does need a tiny bit more salt in. And some more pepper. Right, okay, the pasta's ready. Still very al dente, but as we said before, we're going to finish it off in the sauce. So, off we go with this. Always keep a bit of the starch water in case you need to loosen the sauce up. Scruffy jib, have a look here. Okay, so one thing I did is, first of all, I've left that quite wet because it's still al dente, and we're going to cook it for another minute or so. And the next thing is the sauce. While I was cooking it, I added water a couple of times through the process. You know, even with a lid on, it will reduce a little bit. So what you need to do is let it down with water. So now let's have a look at this. Got a little bit of fire under it while it continues cooking. It's going to take all the sauce. And here we go. Beautiful. So what we've got here is Cavatelli with Ragu. I'm now going to do a little rum, and I'm going to take some of that to some of my pals here and there, so buon appetito.